From the first page of our JavaScript cheat sheet, we already looked at the JavaScript types, we already looked at the objects and some of the definitions, and now we're going to look at the basic terminology or basic vocabulary that we'll be using. So I'm just simply going to put this on the side, zoom this in a little bit, and let's get started. All right. So many a times you have looked at a code that looks something like this, which is var, a variable name a is equal to 7 plus 2, right? So I'm just simply going to write it over here. So var a is equal to 7, the number, plus the string of 2. So you see over here, there's quotes around the 2, so that means it's a string. And since 7 does not have quotes, this is a number type, all right? And I'm going to end it with a semicolon over here. So now let's take a look what this particular statement is doing. So the first thing to recognize over here is that we have something called a keyword or a reserved word. What is it? Now let's look at the definition. Any word that is part of the vocabulary of the programming language is called a keyword, also known as the reserved word. So the word var, var, is a special word that the JavaScript language understands, which means that, hey, I want to create a new variable. That's what a keyword is. This is var is one of the keywords. Is equal to sign is a keyword. Plus sign is a keyword. If is a keyword. For is a keyword. So these are keywords that the language, the JavaScript language recognizes, right? So that's called a keyword or a reserved word. The next thing is a variable. Just like if you've been to your college level math classes, you create certain variables like x and y, you find the value of the variable. Similarly, in JavaScript and many other programming languages, you actually create variables, anything that you want, name it whatever you want, and you assign values to it. So those are variables. So if you do var space a is the name of the variable. You can call it anything. You can call it Aziz, you can call it blah, 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 whatever you want, you can call it. You cannot call it starting with a number. You can actually have a dollar sign as well as a variable name. So dollar ABC would be a name of the variable. So you can name whatever you want to call your variable. Of course, it's a good practice to name helpful names. So it's easy for you to track what the variable actually holds. So in back, just clear this out. So let's say I'm going to do var a is equal to 7 plus 2. So back to our example. Now let's move a little bit further. Now we looked at the type of operator, right, previously in the video. So what is an operator? The is equal to sign is an operator. The plus sign is an operator. But what is an operator? Let's take a look. Operators are reserved words that perform actions on values and variables. That's pretty much it. So when you use the equals sign over here, it takes all the values that it gets, the 7 value and the 2 value, and then the plus operator says, okay, I'm going to merge them. It merges both of them, and then it saves that value or assigns that particular value that it gets to the a variable. So the operators are doing some kind of task. There are many operators. The multiplication sign, the in keyword is an operator, equals, the triple equals, type of, and there are many others that we're going to look at in the later lessons throughout our courses or throughout our course, this particular course. So those are called operators. Let's look at another terminology, which is the expression terminology. So what is an expression and what is a statement? So let's take a look. An expression is a reference, value, or a group of references and values combined with operators, which result in a single value. Now that's a lot of words that I just said, right? So let's just take a look what an expression is. So expression is any variable or value which actually, or maybe it's merging multiple values and it results in one value. So let's take a look. So 2 over here is an expression because it's just one value, and actually when you write this string, it's actually a value, right? So this is an expression. 7 is an expression, right? Because this is just a number. And if you actually merge both of these with the plus operator, This thing is also an expression because when you merge it, it returns in a single value. You see over here, single value. So this is also an expression. So that's why I have highlighted this. And this is an expression, 2 is an expression, 7 is an expression. Expression is just some kind of value or reference to a value which result in one single value. That's all an expression is. Then there is the statement. A statement is a group of words, numbers, and operators that do a task is a statement. So basically, this is a statement. We said var a is equal to merge these values and assign the result of these value expression into a. So this entire thing is a statement. And most of the time, in most cases, when you write your lines of code, you want to end the line of code with a semicolon. That tells the JavaScript engine that this is the end of the statement, this is the end of one piece of code, and then a next line of code or next piece of code is going to be written. So that's pretty much it for this video. Remember that you do not need to memorize all of these vocabularies. You need to recognize they are there and start using these terminologies. So as you build your knowledge, these terminologies are going to be used when you are reading documentations or communicating at your job, and this is going to become part of you eventually. So don't try to memorize it. Just start recognizing it, start using it, and then it's going to become a part of you. Talk to you in the next lesson.